still all eyes on Greece and the implications of the second vote coming through. Consensus is that we are going to see a yes vote emanate from that end. How are you reading the scenario at this stage?
Yeah, Alicia, I think we're certainly expecting that the second vote will also go through. I think that's also what the markets are telling us, both in terms of the currency markets as well as the bond markets, and the equity markets also looking positive coming out of Europe. So certainly at this stage, despite those protests that you're referring to on the streets of Athens, certainly at this stage looking as though those austerity measures will be approved. We also had news out that the German central bank is looking at some of those measures that France had approved in terms of rolling over the debt to a 30-year horizon and looking maybe just for some yield sweeteners, maybe linking that to the Greece GDP, and that might be a sort of a sweetener for them to approve some of that rollover of the debt. So at this stage, things look good for Greece, and certainly that is providing a lot of support for the euro today.
Of course, when it comes to the market, there's always two sides of the coin to look at, and while we've got that good news to a degree emanating from Europe, we've got the end of QE2 coming through from the US, and we've got proposals for raising a debt ceiling in the US also, something that the markets will have to consider, and contributing to the push-pull factors that are simultaneously at play.
Absolutely. You know, when we look at the euro dollar, you're quite right. It's not just the case of the euro that is looking stronger today, but the dollar definitely on the back foot with QE2, as you say, coming to an end today. And with the prospect of having to raise the debt ceiling, we're really looking forward to the US possibly having to default on some of its own internal debt limits in August. So what we're looking at is that President Obama is basically looking to ease back on some of those tax cuts that certainly the very rich in America is enjoying. Obviously something that is not very popular with the Republicans, but which is popular with the Democrats, and he's trying to get those measures pushed through Parliament so that the increase of the debt ceiling would not really be required. But an end of an era for the time being, and we'd be interested to see to what extent they continue maybe to try and have some form of quantitative easing, although not in the official term or not in the official form, still come through in the US. One of those, for example, I'd say one could possibly attribute to the release of strategic oil reserves into the system, because by actually doing that, not only are they placing a cap on the oil price, but obviously it also eases inflationary pressures into the market. So I think we're probably now about to start an interesting secondary round, or a different round of ways that the Fed and the US government is looking to actually ease the pressure on the consumer in the US economy.
Of course, Nerina, amidst all the uncertainty on the economic fronts globally that are out there, we are at the end of yet another quarter, and with that contributing to a lot of the activity would be window dressing as fund managers build up their portfolios. What kind of shifts are you seeing locally? Is there any particular trend that has become evident today?
Most definitely. You know, when we look at the movements in our own market over the last week, very interesting to notice that we had a definite low in our market a week ago in the top 40. For the third time in 6 months, we bounced off that low level on the top 40 of 27,000, and we've bounced from that to the extent of just over 5% already, and that certainly can be attributable to obviously the improved sentiment coming out of Greece and out of Europe, but also a portion of window dressing involved in that. You're quite right. Fund managers obviously would like to also hand in as good a report card for the quarter as possible, but it's interesting to see that the previous times that we hit these this critical support level of 27,000 was late in December, late in March, and now again late in June. So certainly just before quarter end, every time we bounced off those low levels. What we're now seeing is where we're trading at the current levels, we are now bouncing against some other moving averages, and I certainly think that there would be an opportunity for short-term traders to look maybe to selling into some of that strength, because a lot of this might be fairly flimsy trade over the next couple of days, with Monday being a public holiday in the US, and certainly lower volumes might present some opportunities. So punters who feel more bearish on the outlook for the world economy and for equities might want to use this opportunity to actually just sell into the strength that we're currently experiencing. bouncing.
A stock that seems to not be pulling back. I mean, when it does pull back and, experience a down day, it doesn't last very long. And that MTN. We've got MTN Group at the top of the top 40 today. And for this week so far, it's been pretty up and down days that we have seen for this counter. MTN trading with a 1.25% gain today. What are you making of MTN at current levels?
Well, there was a report out by Goldman Sachs about a week ago in which they highlighted 27 global stocks who they feel is currently trading at levels that make them value stocks compared to history, their own history and the history of stocks within their sectors. And MTN was one of the stocks on this list, and it's quite a prestigious group of companies. So they certainly find themselves in very good company in terms of being punted as a good investment for them for the short to medium term. So I think this has certainly been added to the momentum that we've seen coming through in MTN. And obviously this is the sort of report that doesn't only add impetus on a particular trading day, but it does have a bit of longevity to it. So we expect to see some support coming through from the buying in terms of MTN, and I would attribute that in large part to it. We also did see some numbers out from MTN recently, and those were some good numbers. So certainly a positive picture for MTN all round.
Very quickly, Nerina, KD's out with news a short while ago and saying that it's in talks with an international banking group about a possible deal involving its securities business. That's lent that share price nice impetus today, up over 2%. What have you made of that news? How much detail is out there at this stage?
All very, very hush-hush, no details available, but certainly somebody in the market must know something, because at last check that share price was up over 7%. So I think it's certainly somebody is thinking that this is a good potential deal for KD. So or maybe somebody is just speculating that it will be a good deal. But I think certainly a nice stamp of approval again for one of the financial services gems in South Africa, a company that has certainly proved itself to be very successful in the specific niche in the market that it focuses on a very strong quantitative and derivatives player. And when we look in that space in terms of the small to medium financial services companies, there are so many others that have also excelled. I think of companies like Peregrine and certainly PSG, for example, certainly not a small player any longer and growing so strongly, and another really good stamp of approval for the South African financial services industry.